Hey, sorry for being tardy getting back to this. We're doing our after show now, and we're talk nonsense. The first thing I want to bring into everybody's um, the first thing I want to do is I want to shill Doc Fearsome here. This is his first time on the stream with us, but we've been on other streams with him. The first thing I want to do is I wanted to say that Doc Fearsome really badly needs a car, especially before winter. We have a GoFundMe for him. The link is in the description below. I am also putting a link in the side chat right now. Go ahead and donate to him and help him get some wheels because he really needs them. All right. So that good acting done. Yeah, what is everybody's? We'll just start with the previous with our thoughts on the previous uh premise of the show. What's everybody's thoughts on like these bad actors and everything?
I think they're really harmful to the community. A lot of times, especially with a community as small and as marginalized as the trans community, the average individual already has a pretty negative view. And then you throw in some of these bad actors, and it just confirms all of their bigotries. Trans women are predators. Trans women are out to push themselves onto cis women. They're out to go after children, all of that. And then you have a case where someone actually does that, and it just confirms all their worst fears. And it makes them think things like, okay, maybe there should be legislation against trans people. Maybe we should have bathroom bans. Maybe we should have military bans. Maybe we should make legal gender transition illegal. Maybe we should do those things. And it's all because of these bad actors.
Yeah, that's kind of where things seem to be going. And the, I mean, we're very few of the people who are truly transphobic are ever going to be reached, and it'll usually take it'll usually take a major event to bring them out of that.
Mm-hmm.
um but also, it's pushing the people who are on the fence or who are apathetic to be more against us, and that's where the real problem is.
Exactly. And yeah, like with hardcore transphobes, they usually don't change at all. I mean, I have one example in my own life of someone who did, and that's my mom. But it literally took her firstborn child coming out and living as themselves for 4 years before she was like, okay, I need to get over my transphobia. But with fence sitters, fence sitters can go either way, and their usual reaction is either apathy or it's like tenuous acceptance. But then you throw in a Jessica Yaniv, and all of a sudden it goes from tentative acceptance to hardcore transphobia.
Yeah, well, I would say it goes from tentative acceptance to what the fuck is this, to listening to the fear mongers, to listening
Yeah.
to the fear mongering bigots who are saying no, all trans people are like this, and
Mm-hmm.
then they go to varying degrees of transphobia. The more they listen to those
I mean,
people.
part of the problem is most cis people either don't know a trans person or don't
Mm-hmm.
know that they know a trans person.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true. Actually, I said something a while back, and I'm sorry if this kind of people feel a little bit called out by this. But I've said that, and I kind of have, I kind of feel this is more true than not. I tweeted that, what is it? Uh, going going stealth is the same as going back into the closet.
Think you
I
said
would
that yesterday.
I
It
would
might have
agree
been
with
yesterday.
you. I
Sorry,
kind of
Jenny.
wear my gender on my sleeve. I mean, I'm agender though, so it's a bit different. Like
Yeah.
versus a binary.
But you wear no gender on your sleeve.
You
Well,
wear
yes,
your
I wear
Well,
my
you don't have
agender.
any sleeves anyways right now, right?
I do.
and like I used to be stealth about my physical
I gave up my
transition.
right to bear arms.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna say though, like, I used to be stealth about my transition, but then I was outed, and now I'm open about it. But
Yep.
one thing that I found is that just because of the way that I look, a lot of people just forget that I'm trans at all. And so I bring it up, and they're like, wait, Kaden, but you're not. And then they're like, oh, you did tell us. So it's just
Or the
like,
other one that you cop, which I cop sometimes, is, but you're not trans, you're intersex.
I've got
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah,
I've
but
gotten
what's
that
the
too.
difference? I was still assigned male at birth. I still had to transition.
Exactly.
By
See?
definition, I am still trans. Intersex is just something else I happen to be as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's, not to be speaking for other people or anything, but there are some people who, there are a lot of different people who have a lot of different takes on being intersex, and like there's a bunch of different like, well, one, there's a bunch of different intersex conditions to begin with, and they're all different, and they all have different outcomes, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you ask 10 intersex people, something like this, you will get 5 or 6 different answers.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, I totally agree. But if you're intersex, like I am, where I was assigned male at birth, brought up as male, only had a few differences going through puberty that were only partly noticeable, and then I transitioned later in life, I'm still trans.
Exactly.
yeah,
And my experience was basically the same because I'm intersex, but I was assigned male at birth and raised as a boy. And I mean, I might have had more differences than Jenny, but I still basically passed as a boy. And so I was treated that way. And then I transitioned when I was in my 20s. So,
Yeah, same
yeah,
code.
I
yeah,
definitely think of myself as trans because of that experience. And the thing with the AMAB thing that throws me off is that again, I'm not stealth about it. So when I talk about my experiences an AMAB trans person, and then someone's like, "But you're actually like why are you talking about this? You're not
yeah,
AMAB." I'm like, I actually am, but again, people have in their heads an idea of what an AMAB person looks like.
yeah. I mean,
Like
there's a
someone like Jeffree Star is what they picture, and
yeah,
so
and,
it's
Yeah, I probably before transitioning past as a effeminate gay guy.
mhm.
I mean, there's a small chance that I could have there's a small chance that I could be intersex. There's just some things that could point towards it, and it makes no sense to me. I still have to get tested for that. But even if so, I was still, it that's just a thing that's about me. I'm still, before I started transitioning, I'm still physically 100% male. Um, for the physical part, I just might lack a Y chromosome. I still, like I said, I still have to get that. I still have to get tested for that, but I was probably already infertile before I started transitioning, anyways. So,
Now,
um,
so or XX male.
I something it's the one that makes the most sense to me. There's some other weird little things about me that just might point that direction. Um, like I said, it's the it's the infertility option that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So, but I don't even know if I am actually intersect or actually infertile or what I am now. But yeah, estrogen did that to me by now. But it's like I had an ex who told me that she was on the pill, but then that broke up with me because she didn't get pregnant because we were young and having lots of unprotected sex, and she was actually trying to get pregnant behind my back with me,
Oh,
and
no.
she says she broke up with me because she wasn't getting pregnant.
Uh,
I
Well,
think I dodged a bullet with that one. Um, so yeah, there was just a situation of lots of unprotected sex where, and I know for a fact that she has since gotten pregnant. So it's not her. Right now, she could have just been looking for an excuse and actually still been on the thing. It could be some other. It could be just, well,
yeah,
good luck on my part, not and not necessarily good luck on her part. It could
indeed.
be some other form of infertility. Um, but it's an option that makes the most sense to me, knowing all the stuff that I know about myself and my hand.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense. Like, I have
so
photos, which is where you have two X's and a Y,
yeah,
and it usually results in infertility. There have been some cases of Klinefelter's people becoming fathers, but usually it is just, it leaves you sterile.
yeah, and I think that's an issue of I think that's just an issue of lack of testosterone production, which is why even if I wasn't infertile before I started HRT, I am now. Because that needs a constant supply of testosterone to keep those little factories running,
And I
or even
basically
to get them to
cut
start.
testosterone out over the past like several years. It's no longer
Sorry,
part of
I
my
was
life.
reading what Mark
So,
said. When you were pointing and said she's got pregnant since then, it looked like you were pointing at me. No, I was not pregnant. I had kids, but I was not pregnant.
But yeah, but like I said, it's a shot. It's at best an informed guess. But even if that's true, even if I am stereotypically intersex, that makes literally no difference to any other aspect other than, this is a interesting thing about me. It has nothing to do with me
That's
being
how I treat
trans.
mine.
It has nothing to
exactly.
do with it has nothing to do with me being non-binary. It has literally nothing to do with anything. It's just
Same,
how my body was constructed, basically.
same.
I beat the other
Like,
infection, Mark.
like if I were to find that I was, XY, and I know I'm not because I've actually been, tested. But
Yep.
even if I were to wake up and find out that, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm a guy. So what? I'm still agender. I'm still Kaden. I'm still non-binary. I'm still myself. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what is the
Exactly.
difference? Like, oh,
I mean,
cool, I'm biologically male. I can go with
given
that.
all the evidence we have for the brain symmetry differences with trans people and between men and women in general, and that it's pretty obvious that just being trans is an intersex condition anyway.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that wasn't,
It still doesn't
HR.
invalidate anyone being trans.
No, even if that
Yeah,
wasn't,
exactly.
then going on HRT makes us intersex.
Pretty much. Like, and
I
I've
don't know.
talked
Does
to
it
some,
really make you intersex though?
It makes us, I guess,
I-
phenotypically intersex.
Yes, yeah, phenotypically intersex, but I think intersex is really a condition that you're born with. It's not something you can adopt medically.
Fair enough.
well, I mean, as an intersex person,
But
I
it
would
has
feel
the
like
same
it's
outcomes,
that
is what
because
I'm. It has a similar
Yeah,
outcome,
no,
is what
I
I'm
totally
saying.
agree with you that, but I think calling yourself intersex because you've taken cross hormones is not quite the same as actually having been born intersex.
No,
well,
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not
I
saying
think
that. I'm not
I
saying
would
that
actually
either.
argue that all trans people are intersex because of the brain differences.
Yeah, well, that is that.
well,
Yeah,
I could agree
I'll go
with
with
that.
that.
Jenny, is it okay if I say something? Like,
Yeah,
is
please.
that argument that you made about needing to be born intersex, exactly the same line of reasoning that Tosh used to say, you can't call you know, to be a woman is to be born a woman. If you transition
No,
into
I'm not using it that way.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that just because we take cross hormones doesn't necessarily make you intersex, which is the kind of the line I thought that May was going down. I don't know because intersex. I whilst being male, female, a man or a woman, or non-binary or non-sex, non-gendered, agender. Yes, that's the term I'm looking for. Why would my brain do that?
Agender, yeah.
Whilst I don't think that's quite the same. I don't think we can label intersex as being a gender.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Also,
So
no,
think
intersex is definitely not a gender.
Intersex is a medical condition, and I don't think you can assign yourself a medical condition just by taking hormones. Was my point.
I would agree with that. Like if you medically transition, physically you're still the sex that you were born as, but your gender presentation is changing and your physical presentation is also changing.
But your biology is literally changing, right? You are literally changing basically everything about how your body works. Both externally and internally.
You are giving yourself a transition, but you're not making yourself intersex. You are making your body more the way of the hormones you're taking.
Yes, I say that I'm trying. I say that my goal is to make my body align with my gender identity.
Whereas somebody who is born intersex actually has a legit medical condition.
So then,
yes.
And I'm not saying that trans isn't a medical condition, because I am actually arguing that being trans is an intersex condition.
Yes. Yes, I know that. You actually agreed with me on this, at one point.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I'm just saying that I don't think you can make yourself intersex by taking medication, is my point.
So
I'm not saying that being trans is an intersex, because I honestly think it is. I am just saying that I don't think you can make yourself intersexed.
Yeah, sure. Uh-oh.
And
Oops.
I feel like a big problem is the way that we talk about like gender and sex, because we often conflate them when they're two very different things. And that's why I always try to use, male and female and intersex as sex. And I try to use man and woman and non-binary as.
Well, I mean, the only thing that, like, when it comes to biological sex, really the only thing that is truly one or the other is what junk you have. I mean, literally everything else.
Be ambiguous as well.
Yes. Yes, it can.
That can't be ambiguous.
No. But I mean, like, I'm just talking about, I'm talking about in general, right? The only thing that the only thing that matters, as far as that goes, is your junk, and
I mean, as far as long-term changes to people on hormones, most of it's up for grabs. Skeletal structure will change somewhat given a long enough period of time, but it's not significant. So if you're really unlucky and you have a very, very masculinized skeleton, you may have a harder time passing just because of.
I think that
the other way around as well.
I know that trans people don't. I know that trans people see more. Notice that sort of thing a lot more than cis people, though.
But it is actually true. I mean, there are differences, and if you take the extremes, they can be quite significant between men and women. And if you are a trans person and you are at one of the extremes and you're wanting to trans the other way, then you may have a significant problem in passing whether you're a trans man or a trans woman. And that's a reality. If it wasn't a reality, we wouldn't have facial feminization surgeries and things like that.
Indeed.
And it is unfortunate, and it's one of those things.
I think that a lot of that's vanity.
I advocate for early intervention on people who identify young enough.
Yeah, I'm really iffy on that still. I mean, I want.
Yeah, but hormone blocking does not cause any long-term negative effects.
I would.
It's 14 to 16 years of age. They are pretty solid in what their identity are, and the fact that you might occasionally have one person who appears to be solid in their identity takes hormones and later regrets it, compared to the number of young trans people you can help by giving them hormones at that younger age.
Well, I'm using myself as an example here, okay? So, and now we do want to remember that I'm coming from a place where non-binary wasn't a thing. Trans wasn't even anything that being trans wasn't anything that I'd even heard of. And even at the point that I did, it was really, really, really just like, oh, there was a dude who became a woman, right? So we're talking mid 90s here.
Yeah, but
right?
you're also talking a product of the time when you would have transitioned.
Yes, I know, but
young.
Yes, but at the time that I was 14, from about late 13 to late 15, I'll say, that's a good approximation. I would have done literally everything, and I know now that I would have regretted it.
Exactly.
So
well, look,
what
I'm
in
the same position as you. I mean, had I had the opportunity when I first asked to transition, I would have transitioned, and I would have done everything, and I would have done it right from the start of puberty, and then I wouldn't have two beautiful daughters.
That's true.
And from my position now, I can say, I'm glad that didn't happen.
But I mean, I just
I should deny other people the opportunity to be.
No. That's not what I'm saying. And we have to remember that I'm also one of these really weird non-binary trans people who is perfectly okay with the first part of. I say that I've only been through half of my puberty. I am to make it more clear what I'm talking about. I am one of the few trans feminine people who is actually completely happy with the outcome of my so-called male puberty, right? So I would not change anything to do with that. So what I advocate for is a lot of education to anyone who says they're trans, right? I mean, some general education, and then extreme amounts of education.
People who are currently trying to do it, who half of them are serfs.
And I have not been given any evidence that puberty blockers don't have any long-term outcomes or don't change the outcome of a puberty that starts when it's supposed to. So I would say that I would want more testing on that, but I would never deny anybody.
Lots of testing done on it,
I would never deny anybody the use of them. I only say proceed with caution because there are people like me.
I wouldn't deny anybody who's adamant and been assessed that they don't have other issues from having hormones at a younger age.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm
not just talking blockers. I wouldn't object to somebody at, say, 12 starting hormones if they know they are.
Absolutely. I mean, like, if I might be in a better place if I was taking, maybe a milligram of estrogen throughout my male puberty. That might have given me a little bit more feminization. I mean, I already had a lot, but that might have bumped me up a bit and given me a little more feminization. Without impacting my male puberty, right? So there are many outcomes, and I would like to see them.
I mean,
go ahead.
That's the other option. I mean, what?
Well, let Kaden.
You can also just slow puberty without actually stopping it.
Well, I'm just saying this, and a lot of people are going to hate me for this, I do not believe that children should transition. And I can share my own experience. I attempted suicide when I was 15 because of male puberty and the effects it was having on me. I mean, thank gosh I didn't die, but I wanted to die. Like it
Which is exactly why I
was a
think they should
traumatic
be allowed to
experience.
transition.
Let me
Same.
finish, please. But I'm just saying that like medical transition is irreversible. And I do not believe that we should be empowering a 12-year-old to make an irreversible decision. Like,
I mean, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there.
Is an irreversible medical thing.
Ask
too.
Arden Everett about transition being irreversible.
Who is that?
She transitioned, and then detransitioned because of transphobia, and she's transitioning again.
Well, yeah, but I don't mean that someone can't detransition. I mean that once someone transitions, especially at a young age, there are going to be physical changes, including sterility, that probably will not reverse. And so, not that someone can't detransition, but the fact that the physical transition will have lasting effects, even if someone's not trans. And so, I honestly,
But the other
I
side,
I
of that,
disagree.
It happen for a child. I honestly just don't.
But
think
the
it
other
can
side of
happen.
that, the actual trans child that is legitimately trans and isn't just somebody who thinks they might be trans, and you force them to go through the wrong puberty, you have now scarred them for life with that.
Yeah. And I will actually
Yeah.
say I will actually parrot something that Dr. Emmy says quite a bit. And you know, she's trans and she's also a PhD in biochemistry. So what she says, and my own experiences fully tell me this, as well. Even though, you know, it's a little bit different for me being bigender. What she says is that if someone is on the wrong hormones, they'll know it and they won't like it. And I can absolutely relate to, and you know, it takes months for changes to even start. So I can relate to this with my own experience of I am not liking having no testosterone in my body. My testosterone is about as low as you can get it. It's half the amount of testosterone that an average cis woman has. Um, you know, the average cis woman has a little over 8 nanoliter, a little over 8 nanomoles. I have right on 0.4 nanomoles. I'm not necessarily liking this a whole lot. I'm continuing to go through with it because, you know, I know what I want my goal in the end to be, and I know that I have to go through with it. And I also know that I also know that you know, there is nothing that is being done to me that, you know, later on going off of blockers and increasing my testosterone back up to a comfortable level, you know, that's something that I can do, that's possible, that's hopefully going to work, and all that. But you know, I know that I feel that my testosterone is too low. It's giving me, it's not giving me any physical discomfort. It's giving me a little bit of mental discomfort as well. Now it's not the mental discomfort that I had for when my, you know, from when I wasn't on hormones, right? So there is a little bit of some things are up, some things are down. But I know that I know that both my estrogen and my testosterone are too low.
I'm not gonna say. I'm really not gonna say.
What?
Yeah.
Something about up and down, May.
Okay. But
and I apologize if what I said was offensive. I didn't mean to be insensitive.
I just think you're wrong.
To highlight the point,
some reservations that I had.
to highlight the point, we are only talking about hormonal interventions. We are not talking about surgical interventions.
Yeah.
I am all for saying you don't have surgery until you turn 18.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't have any problem with younger hormonal intervention.
No.
And I am also saying that psychological analysis of a young child is definitely important.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to give hormones to a younger child.
I advocate for I advocate for a fair amount of not necessarily I advocate for a fair amount more gatekeeping for a child
younger-
than I do
younger
for
people, yes.
than I
What
do
if
for an
they're
adult.
non-binary? And like me though, like what if a non-binary person is like me and wants to physically transition? You know, typically at those ages we say no, and it's like, isn't that kind of pushing people to be more binary as well?
This is something that I talk about. This is why I talk about this the way I do, right? I say that there's no one size fits all transition. I say that people need to be educated, highly educated
Especially
on the
doctors who
options.
maintain our healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I that's what I said, right? And there also needs to be non-binary options for non-binary people. Maybe someone, and maybe I would have, if I knew everything I know now, maybe I would have, been on low dosage estrogen, not to slow down my male puberty or anything, but to give my female puberty a bit of a head start when I was done my male puberty and went on hormones, right? My ideal transition, personally, would have been having a little alarm clock go off and say, okay, you got everything you're gonna get out of the male transition. It's time to do the female transition now, and then start that immediately.
Yeah.
Like that is my ideal, transition. Maybe, I could be on a little bit of estrogen going through my male puberty that doesn't interfere with my male puberty, but it gives my female puberty a head start.
Yeah.
So that I have some better outcomes there. But I'm also, almost every trans person who I've ever spoken with has been like, no, I hate my male puberty. Well, I hate my, assigned gender at birth puberty. And I wish it never happened. I'm like one of 3 people on the planet who's like, oh no, I love this shit. I just want the second half of this to be done so that I have boobs now.
I'm kind of envious of you because you're so okay with your male features, and I'm like, I hated my male features. I wanted nothing. Like, I know I've talked about it in the past that in a perfect world, I would just choose a sexless body without secondary, sex characteristics at all. But I know that's not a realistic option, at least with today's technology. And so my first realistic choice would be to have an entirely female body because I just don't want any male features at all. And like,
So ideally, what you would have liked, Kaden, was to have been offered blockers and just stayed on blockers indefinitely.
exactly.
Yeah, there's a
See, so there you go.
yeah, there are problems with that though.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have gone with low dosages of hormones anyway.
Yeah.
I could have, but low dosages do change you just at a
Yeah,
slower
but they're a lot slower, so you would have had a lot less of those, a lot less features, and still would have been more androgynous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it triggered one puberty or another, the like once that's done,
I mean, in all honesty, if you assign male at birth and you take androgen blockers, the estrogens in your system are actually going to start a part of puberty anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well then, but you could take you could take androgen, but you could also take like anti-estrogen stuff that trans guys take.
Lizzie!
Hey Lizzie.
Hi.
So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of I have a fair amount of I do have a fair amount of body dysphoria. But it's all, oh my god, I'm not female.
It's okay if I say something though. Like, I mean, I get that, but the thing about it is that I want 0 male features, and I'm also fine with where I'm at. I mean, I realized that my transition has taken me through a female puberty. I'm fine with that. That was a validating experience for me. The
Okay.
main problem that I have is just that society sees female features and they basically say, okay, that makes you a woman.
Yeah.
That gives me dysphoria because it's like I'm being pushed to a binary that I don't belong in. I would be 100% fine with an entirely female body as long as society was like, as long as society didn't declare that made me a woman. I would be perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
not.
I don't think it declares that it makes you a
The
woman.
sad part about that, Kaden, is TERFs actually probably would like that attitude of yours.
No, they wouldn't.
Exactly, but not
No,
for the
they
reasons
wouldn't.
that I want.
Yeah, not for the reasons you want. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
But yeah, I've had TERFs like commend me for, not identifying as a woman, and it's like
Oh.
I'm not doing it because of your nonsense radical feminism. I'm doing it because
I love it. I bet.
it's honestly who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to learn to accept. We are who we say we are. Accept that and accept us and get the fuck over it. And your bathroom ideas, you can just shove up your ass because
Yeah.
bathrooms have stalls and yeah, get over
Exactly.
it.
Like
The real predators are not us. Well,
No.
with one exception.
Well, there are exceptions. Trans people are humans, and there are bad trans people, just like
I
there are
don't
bad
know.
cis.
I don't know if I
Let's
would
not
go
make
not as
trans
far as
people-
to say Yaniv is human.
Oh, I wasn't
my God.
necessarily talking about them.
So harsh.
And now we can never be monetized.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
We're under
Ouch.
no illusion as to your position, Jenny.
Sorry?
We are under no illusion as to what your
Hey,
position.
look, I didn't say asshole for 25 times for nothing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, Yaniv is an
If
asshole.
you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a good video.
It is a good video.
And it was not scripted. I said it all off the top of my head. In
Oh,
one
nice.
take.
I have
Oh
like
my
5
God.
videos I need to do. It
I'm
sucks, I
gonna have
just
to
don't have-
watch that tonight, definitely, because that's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's just like the
It's
comment
messy.
section was I say I posted and I say asshole a lot. Jay counted them, and when I reposted it later, I say it 25 times. And then I had a few people who messaged me afterwards and said, "We started watching it, and you don't say asshole at all." I say you got to get about halfway through the video, and then I start, and I don't stop.
No, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, if you watch the live chat, people are going, "You haven't said asshole yet. You actually haven't said asshole." They go, "You wait."
Give it time. It's there.
And not only do I not gender Yavnev, I also misname it, but I just mispronounce the last name.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Yaniv.
And that was accidental. I didn't mean to. I didn't notice it until I was editing, and I go, "Oh fuck it, it's staying in there. I don't care."
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was just saying though, like, and this is like society's gendering system just feels like a straitjacket to me because it's just like I go out like this. I know here that I'm not a woman, but people see my face. They see my physical features, which I like. I like my physical features. I like my, chest. I like my, wide hips and things like that. I like my voice. And
Yeah.
even though I was assigned male at birth, people read my physical cues as female. And they read my presentation as female. And they treat me in accordance with that binary. And it's just like that is just what absolutely sucks. Like, I want to be able to go through life and just have people treat me like a person.
Yeah,
and
and this
not-
is
But
kind
don't
of
you think, Kaden, that people treat you that way because to not treat you that way could also be seen as rude.
I mean, I don't
I
know.
understand what you're feeling. I do understand that, but I'm just wondering.
I think so. I mean, I don't know if I pass, so I don't know if they'll see me.
Yeah, you
as
do.
a trans
You
woman,
do.
So
as
it's
just
very
woman.
difficult.
Well,
It's
you-
easy to
But-
read you as female. It's very easy to read you as female.
Easy to read me as female too somehow. I don't know.
But yeah,
Yeah, mate, it is.
It is, mate. I have no idea why you think you pass as a guy.
Yeah.
I was just
Boom.
saying. I mean, yeah,
Oh.
I think that. I definitely think that people think it's not rude to. I think people think that it is rude to not treat me as though I'm female, like to not call me ma'am, to not hold doors for me and all that.
Okay,
And
I wanna. I feel called.
I know
I
it's not-
I feel called out by that. Okay, like everybody gets the door held open for them here. Okay, it's not. It's got nothing to do with whether you're a man or a woman or anything like that. There. It's
So
So I
just
don't think
that.
two people reach the door at the same
It's
time,
just
but
that
open-
the Canadian stereotype of holding doors open is it's an accurate stereotype. We'll hold the door open. If you're a good 20 meters out and you're moseying in on over to the door, we'll
you
even
fight
hold.
over who holds the door open.
Sometimes we do fight over who holds the door open, but we'll also fight over. We'll also hold the automatic door open, like the ones that open automatically. We'll hold them open for people too, just by moving the hand over, just so it stays open. So
We do that with elevators here.
we definitely do that with.
It's so
Canadians,
polite.
Canadians have a lot in common.
But May, don't
Except
you
we don't
have
have
to
shit
apologize for that?
Moose eating sharks.
Yes. No, seriously, the door holding stereotype.
And that's
We're-
what
we're
I
taught
feel
it in
like
school.
Not gendered. In Canada, it's not. Whereas here in the U.S., well, at least in Utah, it definitely is gendered. Like people, men get doors slammed in their faces because hey, they're men and they can take it. And it's just like it's that kind of thing that just
That
gets
is just
me.
so rude.
Well, it's cold and your hands are full of like groceries and stuff there, so you can't really be fiddling around with your keys and with the doorknobs and latches and all that. So it's just polite to hold the door open.
Is that why so many
Exactly.
Canadians leave their doors unlocked because they hate fiddling with things?
No, it's because generally speaking, there's not a lot of people who'll come into your house and rob you.
Just the polar bears.
Just the polar bears. And you might get the odd, you might get the odd moose looking for some attention. And it's pointless to lock or close your door if a beaver wants in your house. It'll just chew through it anyway.
Can they
tell you
really
what,
chew
if you
through solid
encounter-
ice, though?
If you encounter a beaver that chews through stuff, you definitely don't want to be fucking that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, hey, we're talking about the we're talking about the rodent here, not the body part that
Yeah.
I'll be getting in
The
addition to
JJ.
my non-binary girl dick at some point.
With a JJ.
So yeah, I mean,
I just
what?
I just realized there's only two of us who have them in this chat.
I'm working on it, okay?
Why on earth would somebody want to put glitter on their vajayjay?
I have no idea. Like, I read about that, and my first thought was like, what is this sorcery?
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
just so
I
confused by
couldn't
it.
imagine anything worse than ending up with glitter inside you. I mean, god damn it, that's not that could not possibly be pleasant.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to. I'm kind of getting one of those, but I'm keeping my dick. But like,
I could
I would
also
not want
imagine
that.
if you're going out and you meet some nice guy or girl and they go down on you and you've got glitter all down there and they run at it with their tongue and they got this glittered tongue. nuts. Why would you?
They are
Why
just-
would you want that? Why would anybody do it? And then
Jenny,
trying to
I
wash
have-
it off afterwards, it's just nuts.
Jenny, that's why it's called the herpes of the crafting world.
Oh, okay.
Did you
Oh,
not
it's
know
vajazzle.
this?
No, I didn't. They call it a vajazzle, don't they?
I don't know.
It's something like that. Vajazzle.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't want.
I mean, the glitter. How do you get the glitter off?
Yeah, that's. Well, you'd have to scrub it, wouldn't you? And I love to touch myself down there, but I can't imagine getting there with a. God.
120 grit
That's just
sandpaper.
asking for a UTI. That is.
Oh, Scarlet, no.
Hey,
no sandpaper down there.
that would be the only option to make sure you get all, and then you have to progress to higher and higher grits.
And I think that they
That's
use
all
a glitter
shiny.
that's encased in a gel, so that's even worse.
Can you
Because
be your partner?
how the hell do you wash the gel off as well? And it's like,
Okay, this is just disturbing.
You want me to keep going with this? I could come up
yeah,
with an
no,
entire way
great
to do it.
discussion. Let's keep going.
So you know that pumice type soap, right? So you take
Oh,
that.
Scrub.
Oh, I'm shaking just thinking about it.
I used to have
And
in a
you
lab, but
rub
I rubbed them away, getting rid of my vajazzle.
Yeah.
You rub the soap and
Oh,
the
it
sandpaper together, and
Oh,
then
God.
the combined action down.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're the one that wanted to go here, Jenny. I'm just
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
saying.
Oh.
Oh my
Jenny,
god.
you and I are having exactly the same reaction for exactly the same reason.
Yeah, no, this is not happening.
No.
Oh, now I know why guys cringe when they hear about us having our ops.
Oh.
That is yeah. Let's not do that and say we didn't.
I'm never going to
That's
say
not
I
true.
did. I'm not going to vajazzle. But I mean, also, if you did have sex with somebody, with say a guy afterwards, after having a vajazzle, did they end up with a vajazzle penis one? So you finish having sex and their cock comes out and it's all sparkly.
So who
Okay.
gets to remove that?
That would be really fucking annoying to get off my cock then too. So I would have it. So I would.
Yeah, and
So
imagine if
you know,
circumcised, you've got months later
let's
of pulling this
let's
glitter out from under your foreskin.
let's say that I'm three. Let's say that it's a couple of years down the road. Okay, so now I'm thinking fucking glitter out of my cunt and off my dick. Let's-
Again, herpes of the crafting world.
And I've got to wonder who the hell came up with this as an idea.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't-
sure they were drunk as hell and some
They go,
18-year-old
that's-
hell.
so somebody's
Well,
making
look
glitter
at
kits
that
and they go, oh damn it! I see
Benefit
it in
the
my mouth.
JJs.
That looks pretty.
Fine.
Fuck off.
No woman's going to come up with that.
That would just be like abrasive and coarse though. Like no.
Maybe they were just
Some
trying to hide
people
their
like
sex or
pain.
something.
That's true. I'm not one of them.
No, you like warships. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, I like worship.
Oh my god.
See, now I could understand if you wanted to glitter a warship. That would be entirely different.
Hang on,
That
would
would
that
actually
just be
amazing.
fabulous?
That would be
In the
fabulous.
chat.
I'd be
Happy
like
and fabulous
worship.
worshipping.
Yes.
Mark Caesar in the chat says.
You on my boat? It's just fabulous.
I will take I will take I will take like the gayest, glitteriest fucking Yamato class battleship. That's just that's just absolute eye cancer. And I will use it if I had the chance in World Warships.
Yeah.
And then the
And I'd
shells
still
that
prefer
fires
that
are
over
phallic
having a
shaped.
vajazzle.
It fires rainbow shell. Of course. That leave a trail of glitter. that leave a
And
trail of
whilst we're
rainbow
talking
glitter.
about stupid things people do with their genitalia, what about genital piercings? I can't imagine that that's
No,
ever comfortable.
Oh my gosh,
no,
do people
no,
actually do
no,
that?
Yeah.
no. Yes,
Of
they do.
course.
No.
Guy, it's called a Prince Albert.
It depends on how many you get. There is the Jacob's Ladder, which is all the way up. And then Prince
Well, I
Albert,
assume
if
you're
memory
talking about on a
serves, is
penis then,
just
or
the
could we
tip.
have a Jacob's ladder on a vagina? Because if you had a Jacob's ladder on your labia, I don't see how you could ever have sex again.
It would hurt
See,
like
there are people that do that too. However, that's more in the BDSM section.
Yeah, but how
Moving
the hell
on.
do you ever have sex? I mean, if you,
So you take them out one by one,
but
Oh my
use
That
your
could
mouth,
play
please.
it.
That's so much fun.
or
Yeah.
they just do rings, one down each
mean,
side, or
I
rings
can
down each
somewhat
side.
understand nipple piercing. I would never have
my
it done,
God.
but I can somewhat understand that.
I don't.
But
Yeah,
I'm
what would you
mad.
say, Jenny?
Sorry.
I'm icky about having my ears pierced. Okay.
I had mine done, but I had to take them out and let them grow over because almost anything I put in my ears gave me infections. So
Oh no. I actually do get ear
Well, then.
infections easily.
The same thing happens to me.
yeah, so it's not worth it. It's too hard. If I at the time if I bought purely hypoallergenic earrings or studs, I could wear them, and that was the only thing I could wear, and they're never pretty. And you can't see them anyway because my hair's so long. So why the hell?
Yeah, I have no interest in
Exactly.
even getting my ears pierced, let alone any other part of my body.
I own
Like,
lots of absolutely
used to put
gorgeous
mine-
earrings that I love, but if I put them in for any more than a day, that's it. I'm
They
done.
get
Jenny,
infected,
have
yeah,
you?
Same thing happens to me.
Yeah.
I've had mine pierced, and yeah, it just happens all the time. Gets infected, so fudge that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny, putting things in your ear, did you ever think to use protection, though? You
God.
opened yourself up to that one.
Yeah, I
I'm
did,
just
didn't I?
saying.
Yeah, for the
Pretty much,
taking on.
yeah.
I tell you what, he'd have to have a very small dick to ear fuck.
Messy too, I bet.
Oh, you imagine getting the sperm out of your ear afterwards.
Like, I'm asexual.
I can't hear
Like,
properly.
oh
I've got sperm in my ear.
You like that? Shit down after a shit bar, isn't it?
This conversation just reminds me of why I'm asexual.
This conversation has nothing to do with sex.
I know, it has nothing to do with sex at all. And if it is, then you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah, if you're
God.
having sex, a bit of advice for anyone in the chat: if you're having sex in your ear, it's not the way you meant to do it.
Mommy and Daddy.
I'm
Even
sure someone has tried it at some
Now,
point, though.
oh, I guarantee.
if you're being done doggy style and he's got you by the ears just to get a bit more purchase, that's okay as long as he's not hurting you.
Oh, too many images.
I'll take that under advisement in a few
I'm
years.
gonna have to excuse myself in a minute, I think.
Oh,
This stream is probably going to get flagged.
Oh my gosh, it really,
Probably.
it really will may.
I think that was a while ago. I think that's
Yeah. I
Battleship.
apologize. I took it there.
Yeah.
only you would. But I mean, hey, I talk about,
I did
yeah.
seriously consider being a stand-up comedian at one point.
You would make an excellent stand-up. You
You
are.
would.
I've written lots of comedy before, and yeah, I love it.
You'd be good,
And
although I
have no
hate stand
shame,
up.
so I could get up and talk about any of this crap.
I just want to say, Mark Caesar in the chat says, "Don't kink shame me, Jenny." So,
Yeah, well,
Jenny, why are you kink shaming Mark's wanting to do someone in the ear?
no, he's just worried that now that I've said something like that, I'm never going to let him do it.
Mark, I am sorry if you need someone to talk to. I'm not your person.
So you put him in the life of
Not
Jim.
my
That's all right, he
specialty.
talks to me.
Emergency medicine.
Oh my
He also
God.
called you Dumbo.
Yeah, I know. My ears aren't that bad. Big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine. Fine for the ears. See that ear mark?
That one doesn't want it
It's
either.
all right, Mark. You know I love you.
Oh.
I need a helpful ear. Okay.
That was interesting. Oh, you say it was interesting?
Yeah. I'm still looking for, just putting it
Somebody to
out
come in
there.
your ear.
No. I would rather avoid that.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't. I am still looking, like, I have asked a couple. How the fuck am I going to stay in San Francisco for a goddamn month?
Oh my God.
What, for you to get your new bits?
Is there anybody you know down there, mate?
Oh,
No,
Not
but I
in-
mean, is there anybody in the community from down that way?
I don't think in either of the community anyone's near San Francisco. Like, I'd have to stay in the Bay Area.
Wow. Could you like do a GoFundMe maybe?
Oh, I'm definitely doing one of
Going to,
those.
but,
Actually, my friend Heather is like a marketing genius, so she's actually going to help me with that.
isn't Ansgar not far from the Bay Area?
I don't know, but he said he's moving soon, right? This is
Well,
like
that's
a
not
year,
gonna work.
like
But
out of
probably-
California, and
My
this is
point
like a
there
year
may
and a
be
half.
somebody down that way that we just haven't thought of. If you
Yeah.
put out then you might find somebody who's.
I'm continuing to
You know, you
search.
still have to pay your way, but you might be cheaper than staying in a hotel.
Okay, so the plane ticket is not.
I went.
The-
Do you know when you're going to be doing it?
No, I haven't even been on hormones long enough to have a I haven't even been on hormones long enough to have a consultation yet, right?
Oh,
I have to wait until at least like January for that, which I'm cool with.
12 months. Yeah.
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 So.
You also need a referral letter.
Oh no, I can get all that. I can get all that
Yes,
real
but
easy.
I'm just saying you need them.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually talking with my doctor about that. A month after saying, "Oh no, I don't want that." No, I do. I just didn't, know
Didn't know
the
you
one.
could have what you wanted.
Yeah, I just didn't know that they would actually do this. But now that I know they'll do this, and I learned that like 5 days. I learned that less than a week after I saw you last. Thank you. So
Them there Canuckians with them there socialist medicine. They're communists there.
OHIP will cover it. That's the one good thing.
That's
OHIP
almost
will
as
cover
creepy
it.
as Diana doing it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
OHIP will cover it, but they won't cover my travel expenses or anything else. And I need someone to actually physically be there with me for 3 weeks as well.
Oh. Well, that's
so-
why it'd be ideal if you can find somebody in the community who
Yeah,
When would
might be
it
able to put you up.
a
what
year
time
and a half.
3 weeks sounds like a long
I mean,
time.
it's possible that like Ian Wolf and I might be able to. We just have to look into it.
That would be absolutely
We
amazing.
don't
And
live too far away. Willie? Oh my gosh.
but,
We
but-
support you and we want to be there for you. And so
awesome,
like
thank
that
you.
would be a real possibility, definitely. I just need to know like far enough in advance.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then we can figure out
I'll know.
something.
Like let me
What did I tell you, May? What did I tell you? Just
Yeah,
put it out
but-
there and ask, and then
I
you
mean,
know.
getting a
Thank you,
support
Kaden.
is easier than getting the $10 or so $1,000 that I would need, that I would feel comfortable with. I
$10,000?
mean,
Holy fetch. I almost said the actual F word because that's such a shocking amount.
let's
You
see
can
here.
say the F word. I've already said it on the stream.
So
I
I'm
don't
not
feel
gonna
it.
say anything.
I have said asshole, fuck, the JJ. And have I said cunt? Oh shit, I have now. I've said shit as well. There you go.
I mean, we were demonetized, what, 5 minutes ago from that last conversation?
Yeah, like
Based
we were
on glitter.
demonetized when we started because
Oh, right.
yeah, I already said something about
I basically started that one, so I
Okay.
apologize.
After surgery, making it to your post-op appointment is important to get. These are scheduled around the time we surgical date for larger surgeries, like what I'm getting. We suggest average of 2 to 4 post-op visits over 2 to 4 weeks. And actually,
What's
there
the bet this ends
is
up being your most watched video?
there is a there
Jenny,
is
tell us
actually
about vajazzling.
there is actually one, I think it's the safety forum, that says, you know, I have a
Still
friend,
not
family
exactly
member
like
slash
narrative.
clinical support person who will drive me, care for me, and assist with basic needs after surgery, including not limited to transportation, assistance with daily activities and daily living and dressing changes, blah 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 blah. Vaginoplasty patients. I understand that I'm required to stay in the Bay Area 3 weeks after surgery for my post-operative appointments. I also understand that my physician will want to see me 3, 6, 9, and 12 months following my surgery. I'm not going back there 3, 6. I'm not going back there again unless I need a revision or something. So I will I will go there once and I will stay the 3 weeks, and then I won't be able to afford to go back there for like years.
Wow.
So that's what they want from me. That's what I'll do, because this is like serious shit. Even though, you know, the vaginoplasty I'm getting is a lot less invasive in every way, shape, and form than what most people get. Even,
Yeah.
you know, just I'm not having anything removed. So
Yeah, but the most dangerous part about the vaginoplasty is the actual creation of the cavity.
yes.
Yeah.
It's
It's a bit that's going to hurt, if anything
But
will.
Doesn't
it's
hurt.
Oh, it does.
I would argue that it doesn't hurt. The bit that hurt, in all honesty, I didn't find the op all that painful.
I just had my hip replaced, and that's been far more painful than my GCS was.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I
Mhm.
mean, like I said, I'm not getting anything removed down there, which is going to make it far easier. I'm having a few things changed.
You're having your testes moved internal, aren't you? And yes.
Yeah, that's
Scrotum removed. Well,
that's
your
an easy
scrotum's turned
thing.
into the labia.
Yes, exactly. So that's probably going to be the worst part. And I'm having a what the fuck is it? I don't even know. I don't even
Have
know
you
how to
actually
pronounce
checked
this
that
shit.
they'll do the move the testes internal?
No,
bit?
but I'm gonna insist that they do that, and I'm gonna tell them that, you know, my government.
Because some doctors won't.
From what I've seen of I can't even remember her name now. From what I've seen of Dr. Wittenberg here, she will do whatever she thinks is safe. So that should be safe. It'll be fine. I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna tell her my government's probably paying her like $40,000 to do this. You know, she can do this. And you know, she has, you know, she has the you get both surgery, which is a uh peritoneal pull through.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. So it's just using the
Peritoneal,
bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just using the body, just reshaping the body's internal lining a bit. So it's a lot less invasive.
What do they use for internal lining then?
The peritoneal lining.
Internal lining.
Sorry,
Like-
I didn't hear.
The lining that separates your organs internally is a mucus membrane. So they just kind of pull that down and use some of that and seal it off. And it's
Yeah.
stretchy and it's mucus membrane, so it's self lubricating. It's it
The operation
heals
was
really
actually
easy.
originally developed for women who'd had to have radical mastectomies due to cancer,
Okay.
Wow.
and then was adapted to
Hysterectomies?
trans women by this trans doctor.
You mean
She actually had the surgery herself.
you mean hysterectomies, right?
Yeah, hysterectomies. I said
Yeah.
radical hysterectomy, didn't I?
You said
said
mastectomy.
You said mastectomy.
Oh, I
I
meant
was wondering.
hysterectomy.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
my brain?
Is
I
is
I was
is
still thinking about vajazzles.
that might induce hysterectomies?
That's a big difference there, Jenny. I'm just saying.
It is rather, isn't it?
One's in this region, the other is
In the vajazzle
Lower.
region.
Elsewhere.
Is she the one who developed it? I don't think she is, and I don't think she's trans.
I would imagine having a vajazzle would feel as bad as getting sand in your vagina.
It would probably be worse than getting sand in your vagina.
I don't know. No, there's not many things that are worse than having sand in your vagina.
I would
Jenny,
bet that
I'm
having
from
fucking
Australia, we have
glitter
lots of
is.
sandy beaches.
Ooh.
Irritating. Let's just say that much.
Yeah, very.
50 grit sandpaper.
Yeah, something like that.
I guess it might depend on what kind of glitter it is. I've
You don't want to get too much sand down there because you and your partner tend to both bleed after sex.
Okay.
Some
Yeah,
like
maybe.
it really, really rough.
Oh my
The
god.
higher the grit, the more rough it is.
But eventually it must get blue.
I never have sex on the beach. I don't know why anybody thinks that's romantic. There is nothing romantic about getting sand in places it's not meant
Oh
to be.
no, she is
With a beach
she is
towel, though?
transgender.
I don't know.
Yeah, the sand gets on top of the beach towel anyway. A bit of wind and the sand's on top of the towel, and the sand's all over you guys,
Yeah.
and you're getting sand all in your rude bits, and it's not fun.
Yeah, this
I think
video
we
is getting
passed through
at
that.
18
And getting
plus, I can
sand
already
under
tell
your
you.
tits. Ah, isn't that horrible, Lizzie?
This
Sand
video
under your
is
tits.
at 18 plus.
Yeah.
It just
My tits aren't big enough for that yet, unfortunately.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't want sand under them, but
That-
I wouldn't mind them being a lot bigger. Because that's
No,
all
the
I'm
worst
saying.
thing- the absolute worst thing about having boobs, at least being outside, is boob sweat in the summer.
Oh yeah, sex in the.
It's
I've had
absolutely
sex in
terrible.
this.
Just all in here, up there. It's just terrible.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Sex in the
Yeah,
water is
nah,
terrible too. And
yeah.
sex in a swimming pool is horrible. Do not have sex in a swimming pool.
Chlorine, yeah.
Now you've ruined it for me. That was
Any
one
of
of
your
my-
natural lubrication, the water in the pool gets away, and water itself is not a great lubricant.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Oh, it's
I'll take that
horrible.
under. I'll take that under.
I mean, I don't know if it's
advisement.
as bad if
I'll take it under
I
advisement.
don't know if it's as bad if you're a cis woman, but as a trans woman, sex in a pool is bloody dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Understand that.
As we don't have any cis women in the chat at the moment, we can't ask one.
Yeah.
Well, or whatever I'm getting instead, because
like,
that's closer.
I mean, I feel like a lot of these fantasies are just
Mark appears to have had
ideas that
plenty of
people
Oh
experience.
no, I've tried
Yeah.
having sex in a pool. It's not good.
yeah.
Take
I
that
figured
on
this was coming
note.
from experience. It sounds like it's coming from experience.
Hold up.
Yeah, that was entirely from experience, and so is on the beach. I used
All
to
right,
be very
go on,
adventurous.
Jay. Anything else that we need to know? I'm Ray.
Oh, you want to know what else I've done that's adventurous? Okay, Jenny's adventurous sex exploit.
Oh my god.
I've had sex in the middle of a park at 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I've had sex on the bonnet of
Wow.
my car on the side of a busy highway.
Who hasn't?
That sounds like
Can
quite
you
the
rate them for
adventure, but
us?
definitely
Sorry?
not my kind of
Can you rate them for us?
At the fullest.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Rate them, 1 to 10 scale.
Yeah.
I gave a blowjob to a boyfriend whilst he was driving.
Not the
Ooh.
safest thing, but
in
okay.
hindsight, that was really dangerous, but hey,
And he enjoyed it though.
he did.
Yeah.
What else have I done? God, I was really adventurous.
Now, what about ear sex?
No, I haven't done ear sex.
Let's see what Mark in the chat's got to say about that.
Disappointed.
Mark's wondering if he can educate me, I think. I was kink shaming me.
Mark, Jay, my oxygen is in my car. Don't make me go get it.
Dear. You gotta have fun
I'm
and
just leaving a
experiment,
comment.
especially when you're younger. I mean, I transitioned young enough that I still wanted to do all that.
Oh, I get it. I mean, no shame.
I-
Absolutely no shame.
I mean,
I'm just saying,
I
just
mean,
left a
I'm.
comment in the chat, but
I mean, I'm just always really horny, so whatever.
I get that.
Even being on, even with people telling me, "Oh no, your sex drive is going to tank once you go on estrogen." No, it hasn't.
I've never been in a restaurant that had tablecloths that went all the way down to the floor, so you could give a blowjob under the table in a restaurant. But I would have if I'd found one. It
I'm
was
sure-
something we actually, with me and my ex-hubby, we actually went looking. We went around to all these different restaurants to find somewhere that we could.
Darling,
Did you call ahead first?
Yeah, head waiter.
Yes,
Oh,
excuse
dear.
me. What's the length of your tablecloths?
Cloths.
No, I'm
They
just
reach the
curious. I
floor.
just need to know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, it was a
Like,
good
no-
excuse to
no
try out lots of
particular reason.
restaurants.
To be fair,
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hang on.
Now, returning to the clean section of the live stream.
oh, screw that shit, Liz.
Yeah, just while Jenny's on the phone.
Shit right off the cliff.
Yeah, it's too late, I think. It's way too late.
Chugga, chew,
Yeah.
chew.
Are you going to share those notes with us, Scarlett?
Well, you see, I only got a little bit there.
Mhm.
Jenny just didn't give enough information.
Maybe you should
Okay.
press it for some more.
What?
Well,
Sorry? I didn't give enough information on what.
We
So
were talking about you.
so
Yes.
the difference is that I never had problems being, adventurous. So I just never really had the chance. I mean, I had sex in the woods a lot because
You're Canadian.
Everyone's done that.
I mean,
Well,
I don't have to worry about being bitten by the tree that's venomous beside me.
You do all these weird things, like you have all this adventurous sex, but there's nothing worse than you've got a brand new puppy, and this happened years ago, and you're having sex, and the pup walks in on you and starts barking at you.
oh my God.
I thought you were
Really
going.
off-putting.
I can see how that would be awkward.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like having a child walk in on you.
I mean, did the puppy just stick its nose just right up in
No,
there.
no, it couldn't get to us. That was perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I'll be
So
honest,
it's
Yeah.
not as awkward then.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
at least
When
it
they
didn't go up
get
and
on the
start
phone,
humping your legs.
Yeah, go away. It's my turn.
why aren't you sharing?
Oh my gosh. Can I just say, like, as an asexual person, and there was no judgment, like, as an asexual person, I just find all this fascinating because I'm just like, people actually do this? Really? Wow. I just like, it just blows my mind.
Kaden, here you go. Take notes.
Look, sex is fun. I mean, I know that's not how you see it, Kaden, but as far as I'm concerned, sex is fun. I enjoy having a sex life.
It's
I mean,
fun. I just haven't had
had
enough of it.
had a proper sex life for a while.
Neither have I.
I'm
I hate
hoping
it.
that changes.
Yeah, I would have changed if I was earlier. You were in Canada. Eh?
Yeah, that would have been fun.
But alas, no.
It's alright.
I don't know.
May, doesn't doing it in an igloo get cold though?
No, because it's warm on the inside of the igloo, and the cold outside, right? It cools the melting fast enough so that it keeps it at equilibrium. So it starts
Vaginas are
melting
the
and then
same.
it instantly freezes again.
Vaginas are the same, they're warm on the inside.
That too.
See, I've only walked, the mile from one place to another in like -7 Fahrenheit weather, so I suppose it's about the same as being rejected.
Yeah.
Wow. I did have a question, and this might be a bit controversial. It might be a bit of a
Oh, it
controversial
can't be
topic.
not compared to everything we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. How can it be controversial? Goodness me.
We
Yeah,
can
Kaden.
only go up from here. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
Wait.
sure.
I was just gonna say,
I went
like,
up, but it was accidental. I was still talking about vajayjays, and I said something about the tip.
I was just gonna say, like, do you guys, do you folks? I'm sorry, like, find
Guys,
some
it's
of the
fine.
Yeah.
cool. Okay, I know that some people are testy about it, so I don't want to, misgender someone else.
Maybe I would be if I wasn't happy with my testes.
I was gonna say though.
I'm Australian. You guys refers to either gender.
Nice. Same here in the Midwest. But I was gonna say, do any of you guys find like the political extremism in the trans community kind of off-putting? Because I do, and it's
what
like
you call extreme, Kate?
Yeah, it depends
I
what you're
mean,
calling.
you hear about like, and I'm talking mostly about Twitter. I'm not sure how it is in real life because I don't know too many trans people in real life, but on Twitter at least people saying things like, "Oh, f the police," kill all cops. Like
I don't think I've seen
let's burn
anybody
down
post that from
society.
the trans community, though.
Oh no, they do. They do.
They do. Oh well, I've missed that.
And just the extreme leftism. It just
I think all the people I know don't necessarily mean it. They're just saying it. There are some people who mean it, and I tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that proper activism where you're talking about protecting our rights.
yeah, that's one thing.
Is perfectly fine.
Now, I will say that there's some PDs in the United States, most of them, that need to be completely dismantled and rebuilt, and like they need outside help to make them not suck. And I have major problems with, most of the police forces, most of the police departments in North America. That includes Canada. Hi, Hamilton. But generally speaking, generally speaking, if you get all the assholes out of the police, and there are assholes in the police,
there'd be none left.
then
They're too busy eating donuts.
I thought you were gonna say
I mean that's here in Canada, eh? Where you know, when I lived in Fenland Falls, if you needed the police officers, you didn't go to the police station, you went to the Tim Hortons. Because that's where they always were. And I'm not even joking.
Oh my fudge. Oh my fudge.
Because there was a little OPP office that's smaller than my apartment here. Or they could go and hang out in the Tim Hortons and donut.
To be fair, I've offered the sheriff of our county a bacon-covered donut. Quite honestly, and then him and one of his deputies just shook their head at me and said, "No, that's okay." But
well,
special case.
our provincial police are called the acronym for our provincial. Oh, no.
That can also mean something else.
The most common thing that they get called is the Ontario pork products.
I was gonna say the oops.
No.
Oops.
Or the Ontario provincial pigs.
We do that.
Oh dang.
The OPP is actually generally pretty good. As are the Mounties, as are the Peterborough that we have here. They're usually for most things, right? So I live in a place where, you know, there isn't bullshit. I know that the Toronto police have a problem with using too much force, but you know, they use too much force against everybody and they default to force too fast, and that's a problem. But other than that, and hi Hamilton, the police are generally pretty good. Hi Hamilton. No, Hamilton, Ontario.
I knew what you meant.
Did anyone hear about that though? Does anyone know about? Okay, so Toronto Pride went off without a hitch. In Hamilton, Ontario, which I've actually been to, yeah, so people were like, no, fuck the cops, no cops at Pride, so the cops didn't go to Pride, and then the cops didn't intervene when assholes at Pride when like fucking bigots at Pride started shit in Hamilton, and then actually a trans person got arrested for fighting back. And then they said, oh, well, we didn't do anything because we weren't welcome, and then arrested a trans person.
And that's basically what, and this is just like a weird Kaden opinion, but like, I think that it kind of sends a message, because when you tell the police, we don't respect you, we don't want you at Pride, we don't agree with you, and then they actually don't show up. And so
they showed up, they just didn't do anything.
But that kind of proves their point. Like it kind of just, it alienates cops, and it basically says, it pushes them away, and it's just like,
yeah, they totally did it. They totally didn't do it because of any type of like and it was from what I understand, it was the decisions of the higher ups, but they did what they did because they were butthurt about being told they couldn't be at Pride. And that's literally it.
I understand why the police were that way. I fully understand it, because you have these political extremists telling cops to go away, and then, you know, cops actually go away, and then they're like, oh, we need you.
Well, like, the biggest, there's two problems with this. First off, they were obligated to be there legally. Second off, they arrested someone for defending themselves against the bigotry.
Well, yeah, but they shouldn't have done that.
So
they shouldn't have like taken in someone for just self-defense.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I feel like there's fault on both sides. Yes, the police still should have been there, and they still should have kept people safe, but also people need to realize, like, people in the trans community need to realize that not all cops are bad.
Yeah, and it's not just the trans community, it's the entire LGBT community. Actually, it's not even the entire LGBT community. It's that and
It's a
certain
vocal minority.
left and
Yeah,
certain
like-
idiots on the left.
It's
That's what I'll call
leftists
them.
in general. I mean, not all leftists, but like a few vocal idiots on the left, basically.
Yeah.
saying
I
that
mean,
if
I'm
you have to
definitely a
live-
leftist.
I'm a
I
former
hate to be
leftist,
rude,
and
everybody, but I'm gonna have to go. I have to go out this afternoon, so I need to get organized.
Bye.
All
So,
right.
love you all.
And he's
Bye.
gotta go get, glitter and.
Yeah, I gotta go get a vajazzle.
Fun with your vajazzle.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'm
no.
not having a vajazzle.
Keep taking
I
Yes,
love
you
you
are.
all. I will catch you all on Twitter and probably next week during the show or the
Yeah.
after show.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. We'll figure out what we're doing later.
Yeah, we will.
But
All
yeah,
right.
Vajazzle.
I was just gonna say, like, and I hope that nothing I'm saying is offensive. I'm a former leftist. I'm not gonna talk about like why I left the left or what my current political views are because I don't feel like it's relevant. But I also think that both sides need to sit down and have a talk about this. Yes, there are bad police officers. Yes, they should be condemned. They should be fired. If they've harmed someone, they should be prosecuted. Absolutely. But we acting with F all police, no cops at Pride, cops or pigs. That is an extreme overreaction that actually makes the problem worse. Because
Yes,
it sets
exactly.
up an adversarial relationship.
And
that
another
makes it-
problem, right, is that this is an American thing that's spilling over to people outside of America.
Indeed.
So
Our
while it's not
greatest
necessary,
export.
well, you know what they say: when America catches a cold, Canada's the first one to get it.
Pretty much. Because it's like right next door. And the
I'm-
culture was almost the same.
I mean, I hold to my beliefs and my and my what little ideology I actually hold. And I won't change it just because I have the same political alignment as some other assholes who I disagree with.
exactly.
I'm really far to the left, but I'm also extremely anti-authoritarian. So I am at odds with, people who think PC culture is a good idea. I'm at odds with fucking Antifa, who are fucking nothing more than violent. Well, not all of Antifa, but there are a lot of people who are Antifa who are nothing but violent vigilantes. Who
Yes.
don't know what they're
I-
doing. They go after people who are the people they claim to be protecting, and they not only that, but they have no remorse. They don't care if they're getting fucking they don't care if they're getting, innocent people who
Yeah.
have nothing to do with it. And I've compared them to TERFs, and they're to TERFs who go after two fucking masculine, two butch cis women, who, and their response to this bullshit is, oh, well, at least we're going after bigots, not
Yeah.
and this is to a person who almost got his ass kicked by other people by other Antifa people. Like they have no, they're dangerous. They have no fucking they literally have no fucking, they are in the category of, we don't care who gets hurt as long as as long as some of the people who get hurt are the bad guys. We don't
It's
even
just
care if we
violent
hurt each other.
evangelism. Like,
So-
it's really just violent evangelism is all it is. It's not any kind of like real anti-fascism or anything like that. And,
Oh,
like,
it's, well, no, it's
Yeah.
a lot of them can be very fascist, or I won't say fascist. I think that fascist is a term that shouldn't be used, because fascist is a political alignment that died with Franco,
basically,
or whatever his name is. But I'm going to call them
Yeah.
authoritarian asshats.
pretty much, yeah. And the
right.
thing about public is that I know I mentioned I have been at various points in my life. I've been a conservative. I've also been a communist. I am pretty much apolitical at this point. I just want to treat people well, be kind, and that's it. I don't know if I'm going to vote in 2020. I probably will.
Please vote against Trump.
At this point, I'm just going to be technical, just neutral on most things because I've seen the worst of the right and I've seen the worst of the left, and they're both equally bad. Like both sides are equally bad.
The only reason I became political is because of Stephen Harper.
Oh, the last prime minister?
Yeah, our last prime minister before Justin Trudeau. The only reason I became political is because it is because that guy had to go.
Yeah.
He seems okay, but then when you look into the shit that he's done, he's actually worse than Trump, especially since he's fucking competent.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not going to comment on Trump. I like if you do want to know my personal opinion, I do not support him, mostly because of his flirtations with racism and his like past of sexual indecency with people. So I don't like Trump, but I just want someone who can bring the country together at this point. Not someone from the extreme left, but just someone who can represent all Americans and all people's interests, basically.
I mean, the only person in the States who's going to fit that, the only person who has a reasonable chance of becoming president isn't even running for president and won't for a long time, and that's Cortez.
Who is that?
So, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Socialist.
So, like, even Bernie is he would be slightly more left than like Trudeau. If he was, he would fit right in with our liberal, or maybe a little bit better with our New Democratic Party. But he's not extreme. I'm extremely far to the left on a lot of things, and I'm not a fucking extremist, right?
Yeah.
I describe myself as a practicalist. So I'm going to keep things I'm going to keep things practical and not shoot for, and not try to get unrealistic and not have unrealistic goals. That's
with AOC, at the earliest she can run in 2028 because she's only 29 now and you have to be 35, so she wouldn't be eligible until 2028. But I mean, I think that she's a good person. I have some agreements with her and I have some disagreements with her as well. I feel like the realistic candidate in 2020 who can make the best impact, and I'm not endorsing this individual, but I'm just saying I think probably would be either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. And I'm not a big fan of either. But
I've heard some good thing about Harris. Like I don't care who it is, honestly, as long as it's not Trump. I don't.
Yeah, but I do care who it is because someone could be worse. Someone who comes in could be worse than Trump.
No one who could come in will be worse than Trump. And here's why. Okay, Trump is not running things. People only think Trump is running things. Every time they do something transphobic, they blame Trump. Every time they do something, that people don't like, they blame Trump.
Exactly.
Trump is not the problem. The problem is his vice president, who makes the Australian the current Australian PM seem like an atheist. By comparison, he's a flat He's a young Earth
Evangelical.
creationist.
He
He's a
is.
biblical literalist. He
Yes,
is
pinky, mate.
extremely homophobic. He's extremely transphobic. He's extremely racist. He's worse on literally everything than people, except for maybe sexism, that people put on Trump.
Mike Pence is
And I
awful.
get,
I mean,
and the thing is that Trump is not mentally well. He probably has a condition that makes it very easy for him to be manipulated by people, aka Mike Pence. So
yeah,
I would go so far as to say that Trump is a figurehead, powerless puppet president, um,
yeah,
and that
yeah,
why is that open? And that fucking Mike Pence is the one doing
yeah,
all of, making all of the important decisions. Now, some people
yeah,
have said, well, there's all this and that and the other thing that Trump is doing that's making them look bad. But in the end,
yeah,
the goals of these people are being, the goals of the highly religious are not necessarily political, and they're being achieved, which
exactly.
is the problem.
And so the thing is like, I feel like to counter the Trump Pence, monster, I feel like a good center white candidate is probably the best way to go. I feel like they could unite the most people in the U.S. They can unite corporate interests with working class interests with
Well, the corporate
middle
interest
class
needs to get the
interests.
fuck out of the
All of them.
government. They
Well,
belong there as much as religion.
I mean, well, just let me finish. I mean, I feel like the best antidote to Trump is someone who just is reason itself, someone who uses reason, and so I feel like that the best options are probably Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I will not. I will, if I vote in 2020, and I believe that I will. I will vote for whoever is running against, Trump Pence. But I think the best option would be to simply get a centrist in there, and then we can reassess in 2028. Like, should we move further to the left? Like what should happen?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like saying that you want a minority government here. Um well, sometimes a minority government is good, sometimes a minority government is bad. Nothing really happens when you have a minority government in, a country
Exactly.
with a parliament. Because
Exactly.
the government, the party in power is, not going to want to try to do anything, because they're going to, they're going to get overturned, and they're going to have to go through another election. um and if the
So,
other parties decide to have a coalition, or if they decide to, that they're all going to vote against something, they can basically hold a minority government. They can basically hold a minority government uh hostage, and get them to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt,
And
but I need to go and take care of some life stuff. Yeah, I have a visitor waiting for me. So thank you
Okay.
very much for
bye.
letting me join and
It was
participate in this.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was
It's,
awesome seeing you and talking to you.
it
Thanks
was
for coming
great. It
in.
was nice to talk to you, Kaden. I haven't had a chance to say hello. So, and thanks for the invite and letting me participate once again, mate. And enjoy the rest of your stream. And we'll catch you all the next time around.
Thanks. Have a good night or
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Whatever time it is there.
Yeah, the time
Yeah,
difference.
about 12 o'clock. Wow.
Wow, it's like 10 p.m. here.
I think it's like 12 o'clock here. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock here. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would want a center left government, to be honest. I do not like anything that comes out of the right. It's especially when it has to do with the states. I mean, a mild center right government, a mild center right prime minister would not necessarily be bad here. That would be like, one of two conservative politicians in the history of politicians that I would ever endorse, being Joe Clark. But Joe Clark is somewhat socially on the left. He's just a fiscal conservative. Right? He actually told people to vote for our new Democratic Party, which is our furthest left party that makes a difference. When Stephen Harper was running for, I think, his second term and his third term.
Wow.
So and he was a sitting prime minister. He won an election himself. Um, so and he was in charge of the and he came out of retirement to run the Progressive Conservative Party before it got folded in with the crap party. The other one I would endorse is Margaret Thatcher. She was Margaret Thatcher is the one who brought human caused climate change to the uh to the attention of the world. So and she was just mostly badass. So but she's not a politician anymore, and Joe Clark, and neither is Joe Clark. Joe Clark is like 90.
Margaret Thatcher passed away a few years ago.
Oh, I didn't know if she did or not.
And like, my main disagreement with her is the fact that she's just so hyper-capitalist that she basically was in favor of dismantling the welfare state entirely.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that was my beef with her, basically, is that she was just so hyper-capitalist.
Yeah, there is kind of that problem. And that's the problem that the conservatives everywhere, but especially the UK have.
Yeah.
If you ever want a reason why conservatism is bad for people like us, look at the NHS. They can't do anything because they don't have the funding, or at the very least, we have the funding to do stuff here.
Right. In the US, there was like no national healthcare system at all.
Yeah,
like,
there should be a national healthcare system.
I
would be dead or completely bankrupt if I lived in the States and all the same stuff in my life happened.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of filing for bankruptcy just because of medical bills.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
That's life in America. And the thing is that like, I feel like there are things on the left that are valid, like universal health care, or having a strong welfare state, all that. And then I feel like there are things on the right that are valid, like treating people equally, not playing identity politics.
Okay, no, you stop right there. Treating people equally and not playing identity politics are not things that the right do. They just play different identity politics, and they're the reason people like us are not treated equally.
Well, I mean the center right and not the far right.
The center right are part of the reason why we're not treated equally. And they still play identity politics.
Well, what identity politics do centrist and center right play? Like,
there's a lot of centrists that are and center right people that are still Christians, and they still are not for separation of church and state, even if they are moderates. There are a lot of the irreligious transphobes are center right and not or center or even left, unfortunately. But there are a lot of the TERFs are not far right. They're center or center right at best.
I mean, a lot of them are communist.
Fiscally left, socially left. No, you have to separate the two.
Well, yes, I meant fiscally left. A lot of them are fiscally communist.
Yes, but they're socially but they're socially in the center.
Yeah. The center white. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like that, they are not a problem for you or I because they almost don't exist on this side of the pond, but cross the pond, and they are a huge problem who are causing
Yeah.
all sorts of problems.
I know. Like my partner is as he talks about like TOFs being in the news all the time, and TOFs like actually moving to make being trans illegal, and just all of that.
Exactly. Bigotry knows no political bounds. It just takes different
Exactly.
forms.
And that's why I'm apolitical, and that's why at the end of the day, as someone who used to be very political, I am apolitical. I just the only thing that I show is kindness, love, and acceptance, and fairness.
I cannot be I cannot be apolitical because I have rights that fuck Doug Ford for trying to take them away. So
I mean, I respect your opinion. I'm just saying that I'm one person. I can't really change anything. I may as well just do the right thing on a personal level, and that makes much more of an impact than being politically active.
I am politically active in that I am uh how can I say this? I am I don't necessarily try to influence other people. I am politically active in that I try to set an example, and I tell people who are being assholes to fuck off.
Exactly. And I get that, but again, I feel like that's a good thing in moderation. But when you have some of these social justice people and they just take it to this unhealthy extreme, and
Yeah,
they
I'm
call
not
for
a
things like
perpetually outraged.
segregation.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't really say social justice because that's not what social justice is.
Yeah.
I call there's a feminist vlogger who does a lot of video game stuff. Her name is Leanna K. She's actually Canadian.
Mhm.
And she is close. I think she's pretty close to my political alignment.
Mhm.
And she calls them the perpetually offended outrage warriors.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I was having a Twitter conversation with someone on slurs, right? Where it's like
Mhm.
you're focusing on the words that people are using and that
Not the-
and not what they're saying. You're only focusing on words, and I hate that shit. Right?
Exactly.
It is ignoring. It's not even excusing what people are actually saying. It's ignoring it.
Exactly.
So it's people who want rid of words, not people who want rid of bigotry.
Exactly.
So
I do
like
have to get going.
okay.
But thank you for having me on. I had an awesome time. Also, can I mention something? Is it okay if I mention
Oh yeah,
something?
wait. Let me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just started a new YouTube channel. It's called Kaden Adventures. And I was going to have my first live stream tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. my time, which is 8 Eastern. And if anyone wants to go, just leave a comment on my Twitter account or send me a message on YouTube, and I'll add you in. It'll be Google Hangout, and I'm not sure what the topic will be. I feel like it'll just be an open topic. If anyone wants to come check that out, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, I work on Tuesdays, so I won't be able to make it. Apologize.
It's okay. It's actually on Monday, but it's okay.
No, but it's Monday night, and I
Yeah.
work on Tuesday morning.
Oh, then I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if anyone listening wants to, I'd appreciate it. But thank you for having me on, and I'll see you folks later.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone go subscribe to Kaden, and I'm trying to find Kaden's channel here. But I am
I
not
will leave a
having.
link in the chat. I will leave a link in the chat.
Yeah, I'm getting videos, not channels.
Well, is my name really that common?
Let me see. Kaden number one, Kaden's Adventures, Kaden Gamer 22, Kaden Gamer 22.
Give me a
Blah blah
second.
blah blah.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna give the link right now. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna hit still copy because YouTube is funny that way, and since I don't have any uploaded videos, they might not,
that's
include any.
probably it.
Okay, there we go. I just left the link in the chat. If anyone wants to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. You don't have to, obviously, but I'm excited about this. It's going to be a new journey for me, and I'd love to see some of you guys following me.
Well, I'm going to subscribe to you with our channel because I generally do that, and
I'm already subbed to your channel, by the way.
I'm going to sub to you with my channel as well.
Thank you. Well, I do have to get going. Bye. Thank
All
you.
right, bye.
You
You're
have an
welcome.
excellent week.
Yeah, you too. All right, where are we? Live. I told them I would put near stuff in here, so I'm actually going to do that for once. I mean, all of these people who we've had on are pretty much more popular than us anyways. So, yeah. There we go. All changes saved. And yeah, it's 12:15 here. I don't think anyone else is watching, so this might be a good time to shut her down.
Doc, are you watching? Or are you
Yeah.
off vajazzling too?
Oh, I was vajazzling the whole time. And
Is
you
it all
know,
prey now?
sorry I just dominated the chat. You know, I'm sorry I just couldn't shut up. I really apologize. I'm not normally like that.
Well, if you can work on it for next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was great fun just hanging out and listening to you guys. I just get I'm really a listener, so I just kind of I just got into your guys' conversation and just was listening. So
Yeah, well, that's all right. So, yeah, it looks like this is it. So I'm going to end the stream. That's it for this one, and have a good one, or whatever I usually say.